Married at First Sight, season 14, decision day, y'all. And woo, it delivered. It sure did deliver. I mean, I tell you, I had a mixed emotions. I was shocked. I had joy. I cried. I was happy. I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm just a ball of mixed emotions, y'all. But this season has delivered, and I'm happy for it. We got 4 yeses. I hope they stick, but we're going to talk about it. I'm doing one video for all the couples, so it may be a little long, so I hope y'all stick in there with me. First of all, I'm going to go in the order in which they appeared on the television show. No special order. I ain't doing no favorites first, nothing. No drama first. I'm going to just go in the order in which they appeared. So the first one up is Jasmina and Michael. Lordy, Lordy, you know, going in, I was really predicting a split decision. At most, I was thinking that Jasmina was going to say yes. I pretty much knew Jasmina was going to say yes. I really did believe that. But I believed that Michael might have said no. I was thinking a split decision on it, or maybe they both say no, but I was really closer to the split decision. But don't matter what I was close to, I was wrong all the way around. Because we got 2 yeses out of them, and I was like, what the heck? First of all, I want to say Michael looked good in that plum suit. I mean, that's the best he's looked pretty much all season. He looked better in that plum suit than he did on his wedding day. I like that, Michael. You need to wear that every single day. He went on with his montage called Jasmina a strong black woman. Listen, black women, that ain't a compliment no more. Don't be letting people call you no strong black woman. That's not a compliment. Wrapped into that is all the other things he started talking about. Opinionated, stubborn, all that. Strong black woman has come to mean a whole lot of different things these days. Don't let people call you that no more. But when they was doing that montage of Jasmina in the early days, y'all, I was triggered. It was throwing me back to when I wanted to throw my shoe at the TV. I did not want to see that old Jasmina no more. And when they brought it up, I was like, oh, good Lord, help me. Don't bring her back. That's like bringing Alyssa back at the end. It was horrible to watch that montage of the earlier Jasmina. It reminded me of just how painful it really was to watch. And then when you heard Jasmina talk about Michael, about how humble and kind and generous he is, and how he has a heart of gold, and how he's super silly, Jasmina don't understand that all those things she just described in Michael is what people who've been married for 40 years love about their husbands. And this is what I'm going to get into about with Jasmina. I'm concerned about Jasmina. And I think her inexperience in dating has played a really big role in this, because she actually doesn't know how to select a man. She really doesn't know how to select a man at all. All those traits she just described in Michael, that's actually what gives you longevity in relationships. And this idea that everybody's talking about, that Jasmina is not attracted to Michael physically, all y'all is wrong. I'm telling you right now, this has nothing to do with Jasmina's physical attraction to Michael. She might have a lack of attraction, but it isn't because she thinks Michael is ugly or he's not her type physically. That has nothing to do with it. Let me explain to you. That little silly story Jasmina talked about, the booty train. Oh, he touched my booty while we was in bed. When you're not physically attracted to a guy, you don't tell stories like that. You don't even want to bring up a story when the guy touched you and act all silly and giddy over it. I'm telling you, Jasmina may be 30 years old, but she's 14 years old when it comes to relationships. She doesn't know how to evaluate men. She doesn't know what you're supposed to look for in a husband. This little booty train, that sounds like a 14-year-old talking about a man touching your booty while he sleeps. What are you talking about? Why is that even important? Well, it's important to a 14-year-old, but a 30-year-old, that sounds like a silly story. Just like we talk about this kiss and no physical affection. When you're 30 and grown, you can kiss people even though you're not fully in love with them. You don't need all those emotions to kiss a person. Where are we, back in the 1930s? I think I kissed my husband on the second date. And this stuff she talks about, well, I don't really know him yet. Why you got to know a person to kiss him? Why you got to know a person to know them more intimately? I don't believe any of this stuff. This idea that she's not physically attracted, I don't believe it. And if you really listen to Jasmina, she never says she's not physically attracted to Michael. She has never said that once. What she says is her coochie don't get wet. And if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. Well, you know what? My coochie don't get wet when I go to an OBGYN. You know why? Because my mind isn't going there. He's touching me down there, but my mind ain't going there, so I don't get wet. See, this is the problem. It's Jasmina's mind that's messed up. It has nothing to do with her heart. Her heart is all in with Michael. She likes Michael. She's attracted to Michael in her heart. But you know what she's afraid of? It's all that trauma surrounding around Jasmina. She's got a blockage up here. And let me tell you, that wall is 6 inches feet, whatever you want to call it, fit. She sat on here and said she doesn't know enough about Michael. Damn, I know enough about Michael to say yes to him on decision day, and all I'm doing is watching a damn television show. What does she mean she doesn't know enough about Michael? What else does she know? Does she need to put a microscope down his throat or up his butt? What else does she need to see? This girl lives in constant fear of getting hurt. Nothing is enough. Nothing is enough. And this idea that they're going to live separately after they're married, doomsday. Doomsday. What for, Jasmina? What for? So he can go back and live with them roommates you was complaining about? So you sit up here in the beginning of the season complaining that he had 2 roommates, and now you sending them back to the 2 roommates, your husband? Girl, get out of here. Get some therapy. When that psychic said that Jasmina was going to meet a person in a year and a half and Michael was going to take him 5 years, I'm now starting to believe it, because I don't think these 2 are going to make it. Because at first I was happy when I heard them say yes, but once I heard they was going to live in separate houses, I said, oh, hell, what is this about? And then let me tell you something. I can see what that psychic says happening, because I think what Jasmina is going to do now is she's going to go out and she's going to pick the next guy she's super feeling it down in her vagina over, and he's going to be the wrong guy. She's going to pick a guy for the wrong reasons, and she's going to pick him because she's going to realize that her heart is not involved, and it's going to be easy for her to be with that guy, because what Jasmina is really protected is her heart. That's what she's protecting. She's scared, and she's going to go along and she's going to pick some guy where her heart isn't at risk, because you know what? She don't feel like she can give it to him anyway. That's why she like men long distance. That's why she like to date people out of state, because there's no real risk involved. And Michael, he's going to be hurt over this. It's going to take him longer time to recover. And I can believe it's going to take him a longer time to find that woman again who he's going to be willing to open up and give his heart to, because he's going to realize I did all this work with Jasmina and it led to nothing. So at first I was really happy over these 2. I was hoping they're going to make it. But as soon as I heard that they were living in separate houses, I said, oh, hell no. And I'm upset, I'm sad, and I'm worried about Jasmina, because I do not believe that she is not attracted to Michael in the sense of attraction in terms of married couples. And Pastor Cal was trying to get in her head and tell her what he was talking about, but she didn't get it. She does not have enough relationship experience. She reminds me, I do videos on Ready to Love, and I talked about a girl on there who she found out her name is Zakia, that the love of her life was in her backyard. He was a friend that she should have probably been with a long time ago, but she's just now upgraded him to lover zone. That's Jasmina. Jasmina doesn't understand what friendship means in marriage for longevity, and she's judging, she's picking people over the wrong things, all because she wants to protect her heart. Jasmina's got so much trauma. Before she picks another man, she needs to go to therapy. Katina and Olajuwon needs a translator, and I'm gonna be his translator. I know a lot of people hate Olajuwon, and there's a few of us out here who don't. And for them, I'm gonna say we got what we wanted. We wanted 2 yeses from them, and we got our 2 yeses, and I'm happy about it. And Olajuwon made me cry. I'm telling you, Olajuwon needs a translator, and you have to let Olajuwon get all his words out. If you stop Olajuwon at the first dumb thing he says, you'll miss all the good part. The problem with Olajuwon are the words he chooses. They're really they're horrible words. I wonder, is English his first language? Because he does not know the right words to use. But if you look at Olajuwon's eyes, if you look at the way that he looks at Katina, all you see is love for Katina. I already knew he was going to say yes. But if you just listen to some of the words he said, you would think, man, does this man even like Katina? No, Olajuwon loves Katina. He just does not, he is not good with his words at all. He needs a translator. Even when he starts talking about things like, when I see the effort Katina puts forward, I can see how people could take offense of the word effort, because that makes it sound like I got to work so hard for you. But the real word, if I was translating for Olajuwon, what he's really trying to say is, I can see the care that Katina puts in. And that is what people like to see in their mate. We want to see that your mate cares for you, that it matters to them. And that's what he should have been using. He should have been using the word care, but he started using this word effort. But when he's talking, he's describing care. He's not describing effort. Just like when he was talking to Pastor Cal, and Pastor Cal was saying, you know, you talk about you don't love Katina, but everything you describing is love, Olajuwon. That's the problem with Elijah. He needs a dictionary, a thesaurus, and a translator. And there was a method to his madness. Everybody kept talking about, Elijah wasn't sleeping with Katina because he's not attracted to her and he really want a white girl. I never believed none of that either. I already knew Elijah was in love with Katina. And he explained the method to his madness a little bit better. Maybe some of you didn't buy it, but he talked about that he knows himself. He knows that once he gets the cookie, it's a wrap. He knows it, and he didn't want to spoil this relationship. And I admire him for that. I admire him trying to do something different. And you know what? I'm full on Elijah's team. I'm really happy for these two, and I'm happy for Katina. And the other thing that people need to realize about Elijah and Katina, that Katina's getting run over. No, she's not. If you really look at everything Elijah sat up here and demanded and asked for Katina, and I want this, I want that. I need a wife to cook and clean. I need someone to do this. I need someone to do this. Katina doesn't do that. Guess what? Katina held her ground the entire time of this episode. The entire time of this season, Katina wasn't running around like some puppy dog. She said on TV, you know what? I'm going to school regardless of what Elijah says. You know what I'm saying? She has said all these things. And this idea that Elijah wants Katina to cook, what makes you think that Katina doesn't want to know how to cook? Why is it just on Elijah to want Katina to know how to cook? You think she might want that for herself? Absolutely. What wife doesn't want to know how to cook a meal that her husband would want and be able to cook for their kids? This has got to be a goal of Katina too, not just Elijah. This isn't some dictatorship over cooking. Cooking is a necessity. And when Elijah uses another foul word, he said was make me happy every day. I cringed on that too. But I do the Elijah translation, and the Elijah translation is, do I want to be happy with this person? And everybody out here, you can't say nothing about that because everybody talks about being happy. You got women running around talking about, well, I need to be happy. I need to be happy. So what's the difference? Everybody's running around here talking about they want to be happy in relationships. So just because he's talking about is someone who made me happy every single day, what's the difference? Women around here talking about the same thing, happiness. Another reason I know these two is made for each other because they still don't know how to say gondola. They still don't know how to say gondola. They still talking about the gondola. They cute. They two peas. Let me tell you, they cute together, and I'm really, really happy for them. Katina said, you know what? I ain't firm on that 2 years with the kids. If it's 2 to 3 years, it'll be 2 to 3 years. But what she said she's going to do is she's going to finish her school, and she's going to travel, and then she can have them doggone kids. Katina done laid out the plan for Elijah and Elijah with it. Just like I told all y'all before, what Elijah was going to do on decision day, he was going to settle. He had a whole list of everything he wanted, just like women. A lot of women are mad at Elijah but to be honest with you, y'all walking around here just like Elijah You got a whole list of unrealistic stuff, and you discarding men over it. But you know what Elijah did that a lot of you women don't want to do? He settled. He realized that it's harder to find all the good parts of a woman than it is to find someone who cooked and clean. Elijah did what Elijah is doing, what a lot of women can't do with men, and Elijah did what even Jasmina can't do with Michael. Elijah realized all this surfacey stuff is not important. What matters is what's on the inside of that person. And Elijah said to them people, he said, I will be a fool to walk away from her, and I will be a fool to let her walk away. Tell him, Elijah. Now that Katina and Elijah are in a relationship, damn what we say. Because you know what? Elijah does need a translator, but as long as Katina can translate his nonsense and his words, they're going to be just fine. And Katina got the stuff to do it. Because through this whole series, Katina has held her ground. What has she given up, people? Learning to cook some eggs? That ain't a lot to give up. And in the end, they said they went back to that room after they said yes. And as Lindsay says, Elijah put the D in the V, and Katina said it was well worth the wait. Get it, girl. I'm happy for you. Noe and Steve. Well, Lordy. You know what? I knew these two were going to say yes. And you know what? Steve is built for Noe because he's got the patience of Job from the Bible. Because we already know who Noe is. Noe is spoiled. Even when Steve gave Noe that extra ring, and when they had the little reunion or rendezvous at the end, she was like, oh, I got 2 rings. Let me tell you, I am telling you, Noi is all about herself. She is about getting what she wants. When she sat up there and started talking about all he wants is 50-50 and it's never going to be 50-50 and you shouldn't concentrate on what I do. You should just give no matter what. So this girl is still on decision day talking about she wants everything and I don't have to give you anything. And whatever I give you, you should be happy with. Well, you know what? She got the right husband for you because Steve loves her dirty draws. And I'm happy for him. I guess they just going to have a junky, dirty ass house because I'm telling you, Steve ain't going to be cleaning that whole house and going to work. I know that ain't going to last forever. But Noi don't see herself. She was crying. She was so emotional talking about how good she felt not being judged and everything. And I guess we judging her here. Well, Noi, people don't, I know you don't like to feel judged. Most people don't. But you need to listen to some of these things, girl, because you walk around with a selfish veneer and you're going to need to work on that in your marriage. And I'm just happy she was paired up with Steve because he's got the patience of Job, like I said, and he can help her work through these things. And he is so mature. He's very good in his communication, and he's going to need to carry the load in this relationship until Noi can catch up. But I'm happy they both said yes because I'm happy for love. I'm happy for new marriages. And this thing about Steve going back to work, he going to hold his ground to that. Sorry, Noi. Sorry, Noi. All that whining you do, you're going to have to be whining to be mad. But I'm pretty sure at this point, Steve is saying, I am not giving up my career goals and everything for Noi. She going to have to be okay with it. And she probably going to be in the background complaining and doing all these things. But guess where she's going? Nowhere. Because like I said before, she doesn't have any better offers. And Steve is the best thing that ever happened to her. And even if she's not happy about the way he makes his money, he's going to bring in money to pay them bills. And she's going to be okay with it. So they're going to be okay. So I'm happy about Steve and Noi. Lindsay and Mark, why the hell did these two say yes? Why the hell did these two say yes? I think Mark just said yes to be part of the crowd. I think Mark didn't want to be the one to come back afterwards and tell everybody they said no. Because I don't even understand why Mark even said yes to Lindsay. I understand the things he likes about Lindsay, but the cons about Lindsay, I'm telling you, they far outweigh the pros. And Mark sees it. And Lindsay has pretty much told him, I'm not changing. I'm not even interested in changing. At least the Elijah ones of the world are looking at trying to change some things about themselves. You know, even Michael with Jasmina, he looks to try to change things about himself. One thing about Lindsay is she has been adamant about, I ain't changing shit about me, and you need to accept everything about me. You need to believe people when they say it. When a person says they don't want to change anything and they're really not changing, then you need to believe them. You know, if she was actually doing some things differently, like Elijah one says he doesn't want to do anything differently, but then he does do things differently. But Lindsay, she says she doesn't want to do things differently, and she doesn't do them differently. That's a no-go. I mean, Lindsay sat up there on that stage and reprimanded Mark in front of everybody, talking about what she not going to put up, what she not going to do, and then turned around and said, yes. Girl, if you got to reprimand this man like this, like he's a 5-year-old child, why the hell you want to marry him and stay married to him? This doesn't even make any sense. I think Lindsay has been rejected by so many men so many times. At this point in time, she's just like, I just want to stay married and be married for somebody who wants me. Because at this point in time, she don't want Mark, but she don't have nobody else out there, and her relationships have been so poor before. She's like, I ain't made it with nobody else. I guess I better try to make it with him. I really believe that's what Lindsay's doing. These two, I just don't really see them making it. I don't see them lasting long. I don't know how long it's going to last, 6 months, a year, or whatever else. But that crazy ass laugh annoys Mark. It's so many things about Lindsay that annoys Mark. He's not going to be able to get over it. And eventually he's going to want to just move on. He really is just going to want to move on. And Lindsay's probably going to want to move on too. Because to be honest with you, she don't want to be taking care of Mark. They moving into Mark's grandma's house. Good luck. That renovation is going to cause all kind of problems because we all know when you renovate your house, you be arguing with your spouse. Let me tell you, them kind of projects are stressful in marriages, and they already got a bad marriage, and now they're going to be renovating the house together. It ain't going to last. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I'll see you at the reunion to see if all these people are together at the reunion. I'm afraid from the previews for Jasmine and Michael. I'm afraid for Mark and Lindsay. And who gives a damn about Alyssa and Chris? I ain't even going to talk about them. Talk to you later. Bye.